comfy?
Hang on. Now I am.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome to Creative Living. I'm Max.
And I'm Amy.
And today we're going to talk about networking. And I know you're probably cringing when we say that. Amy cringe?
Yeah, I was like, oh no.
Oh God, no.
I don't want to talk about that.
But it is something that is really important. Finding your community. Maybe that's a better word
Yeah,
for it.
networking is like tainted with like horrific images for me
Of
like
LinkedIn.
of like LinkedIn, of awkward social interactions, of me standing by myself, of me not knowing what to say.
Conventions.
Yeah.
And all of that like cold clinical kind of feel.
Yeah, gross.
But it really is about finding your community, finding like-minded people, finding your target market.
Yeah.
It's all networking. And it's also something that we, for some reason, tend to avoid, especially when it's our art.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think this video, we just want to drive home the fact that you don't have to be alone in what you do.
Yeah.
And don't underestimate the power of having someone, even if it's just one other person who gets you. Don't underestimate the power of what that can do for you in everyday life, in your motivation and how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your work.
100%. I think, again, like I'm still trying to shift what we're not talking about, like, well, we can talk about those kind of classic networking situations, but we're also just talking about finding, like, for me, finding Mackie, and this year we've really created this, I guess it's like a little baby network.
It is.
To support each other and to hold each other as we do our creating. And just how we can be open to finding these people, because I think often it feels like, oh, there's just literally no one out there.
Yeah. And I think social media, oh, that light. I think social media, if you can look at it like that as well, it can be really helpful.
Yes, definitely.
Looking at it like just a way to reach out to like-minded people.
Yes.
People that will be interested in your work, people where you're interested in what they're doing.
Yeah.
That
collaboration.
Inspire you. Yeah, collaborate. And like Amy, you've really built like this beautiful network.
Yeah, I guess I have.
Instagram.
Fuck, I have. I've managed to create a community of people who do exactly what I do, and we are able to lift each other up and share with each other the ups and downs of our practice of storytelling, and we're able to literally be just someone who can say, yeah, I understand what you're talking about. And just the power of being able to say that is, I think, underestimated a lot of the time.
Oh, yes.
Just being like, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. And like you've said often before, and I've said the same thing, it's so beautiful when you post something and you get someone that doesn't owe you anything, maybe a complete stranger or someone that you've only interacted with a couple of times, saying, I really loved that, or I really loved that post, or that really resonated with me. Like, those are ways of networking. It doesn't have to necessarily be that you become BFFs or that you have to sit down and have some awkward coffee where you don't really know how to make conversation like that. But just reaching out and sending love out to the world, to other artists, is a way to create meaningful connections, even if it was just in that moment.
Yes, even if it's just in a comment or just in a DM saying, hey, I see your art and I see your journey, and this is what I do too. Yeah. And saying, like, all the online connections I've made, they've been like so beautiful and they've fueled me, and I honestly don't know that I'd still be writing without the online community that I have. I have had like several circumstances where Australian writers, and sometimes not even Australian writers, people who are visiting, have actually like been like, do you want to meet up? And I've probably met up with like maybe 6 people, had coffee with them. And every single time I've been nervous because stranger danger, but every single time it has been like so precious to just meet someone who does the same thing as I do. And I think because we don't like meet writers on the street, you know, you're not going to like, they're not easily accessible for, to find, but to have that intentional meeting up and just intentional sharing of stories has been really precious, and just reminded me that I'm not alone in this practice, which has been just so important for me, for my mental health and for my keeping the longevity of this practice.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I also want to say don't underestimate collaborations. So as artists, we definitely need to feel we deserve to be paid and that money is a big factor, but also don't turn your nose up if there is a collaboration that you feel would be beneficial for you.
Yeah.
Because I've actually found work through doing free collaborations with people, and now they're friends and we keep in contact.
Yeah.
And that was literally just through random online collaboration going, hi,
That's
who's
cool.
available for this? Yeah. And so that's something to think about. Like, I mean, you've got like the Facebook groups, which don't underestimate either, because that can often be a way to just like dip your toe in a little bit, and you can have like safe conversations and interactions with people. You don't even have to meet them if you don't want to, but you can if you do. And yeah, I guess networking or finding your community can be a really, really big part of you, one, growing as an artist, but also getting work and like, you know, getting paid and finding people that want your work and want to work with you.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Yeah, it's important.
The first thing I thought about when you said networking, I felt triggered because recently I've been thinking about how I should be going to publishing house open houses. So publishing houses in Australia, I'm not sure about in other countries, they do open houses where obviously writers come in and you get to chat with people and understand what's going on in the publishing house, and you know, it's an obvious networking opportunity. And I've never been to one, and because like the thought of it like makes me feel really alarmed. The thought of like having to go in and then having to like sidle up to people, schmooze, like, you know, it's icky. And like they know what we want publishing deals, and you have to go up to that person knowing full well that they hold this power over you, or this perceived power, and you have to be like, hey, I'm Amie. Like that kind of networking really gives me the freaking creeps. And like I haven't gotten to a place where I've gone to one yet, but as you said before, like you don't have to do it alone. And I have never thought about that. I've never thought about like bringing up someone local or someone even on Inspired to Write who's from Australia. I mean, like, do you want to go to the Alan and Unwin Open Publishing House with me? Because doing it with somebody else just does take the edge off.
But it also means that you suddenly not feeling so self-conscious. You've got someone else there to focus your energy to.
Yes.
And if nothing happens for you, then you've had a nice day with that person, and it's no big deal. Yeah.
I think often, you know, those that have the power of the extrovert, or the power of like the loud, can seem to thrive in those environments, and those that are quieter and introverted often feel like it's not a place for them. But those who feel like it's not their place, like you don't deserve to, don't get in your way in that way, I think is what I'm trying to say. Like we have options on how to protect ourselves in those spaces and how we can thrive in those spaces, and if that's reaching out to someone who's not even a writer or not even of your practice, and just being like, can you come with me so that I have the same opportunities to reach out, even if you're not confident or even if you are shy, just not getting in your way because of that fear.
Like use strategies to get around it if you know that this is something that would benefit you or you'd be interested in, but you know that you won't do it by yourself. Like find those strategies that work for you, whether it's having that friend or having a group. Yeah, a big group. People. Yeah. You know. Bring in your mum. But also, bring in your mum. If you do my what mum you need. Would be game for any of it. So bring your mum. Yeah. She's good. She'd be great. I literally would bring your mum. She makes friends with everyone. See, those people I'm so envious of. Yeah. Yeah, people know me just because they know my mum. But what was I saying? We're gonna have a long giant pause again in this one. Yeah, what was I saying? I don't remember. Oh! It's a ghost. It's a sign. The angels are speaking. Oh my god, I can't remember what I was saying.
I think when we think of networking and people say, like, I once had this very uncomfortable phone call with a woman who was like high up in the publishing industry, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing it, like being such a good girl. I finally managed to get on the phone with this woman, and I was chatting to her, and she was like, it was actually like, it's probably a bit of a scar now that I look back at it. She was like, well, are you networking? Are you going to, and she listed off this big list of things, and I was like, no. And she was like, well, how do you expect to get published without networking? And I was like,
I don't know, bitch.
She was really, really like I knew she was a big character, but it was like a kind of a hectic conversation.
I find it funny though, because often you get smart asses that say, well, you should be doing this and this and this and this and this and this and this, and like if you're not, then there's no, like, you can't talk. Whereas often they don't do half of the stuff. Like, I mean, we even rattle off stuff on like creative living that we know is helpful, but we don't fucking do it all the time.
Like, did you hear me talking before about how you should bring friends and how you should like, obviously I'm not doing that. But you should do it.
But also, this is another thing, is making friends means they have friends. So often I've met people through other people.
Yeah.
And that can also be a less daunting way of finding your people.
Yeah.
Is by utilizing the connections that you already have.
Yes.
And going, oh, well, hey, can you introduce me to this person? Or can you get me in touch with that person? Because often that can also be less... but like a less intimidating way to just slowly put your feet out there.
Julia Cameron says when she talks about like finding opportunities and getting your work out into the world, that it's say we're talking about a writer, she says, you know, it's not the publishing industry, or it's not Hollywood, it's, I think she says it's like the many hands of God, and she's talking about like, you know, the people we know through the people, like, you know, the milkman who knows this person, like we often get our opportunities through funny ways, and the more we put ourselves out there and the more we just tell the world and tell people that this is what we do, we find ways for synchronous magic, for things to happen, you know, that isn't through the traditional way.
I firmly believe that when you say that. Like when you can openly express what you're doing and tell the world and tell people around you what you want and what you want to bring to yourself, it often finds a way through those people. Yeah. It's amazing how that happens when you actually verbally express that to the universe, how it can come in the most unexpected ways, but that it does end up finding its way to you.
My hairdresser, sorry.
It's fine.
New story. My hairdresser the other day was like, actually it was ages ago and I'm beating myself up right now. He was like, oh, I know someone who's like quite high up in, I don't know, it was like a big publishing house. He's like, his friend, she's like, you want me to call him? And I was like, oh, thank you, Alan. Yeah, maybe I'll take you up on that. I didn't. Literally just gave the finger to fate. I'm going to text my hairdresser.
Yeah, although at the same time, I'm going to put this in there now. Like, everyone knows someone. And definitely, like, make the use of the opportunities around you, but also don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, everyone loves to offer a helping hand at the moment, but not everyone will follow through on
exactly, and we have to be careful with our hearts.
Yes.
So
I don't think you should
and my hairdresser's pretty cray. He says a lot of shit, so we'll see. Still gonna text him.
Yeah, definitely.
Should we leave it there?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Lovely. Jubbly.
Anyways, make some friends.
Yeah, make some friends. Put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Cool.